Hello German learners, welcome to Michael's mini tutorial. Today we are going to talk about indirect speech in German. For those of you who already know something about indirect speech and subjunctive in German, this video is perfect for you as it explores the topic further, with more details on the usage of different formations depending on the context. If you are not so familiar with them, don't worry though, I will cover the basics as we move on. Hopefully, everyone will walk away with a more complete picture of how indirect speech works in German and be able to quote, for example, Chancellor Merkel like a native speaker. Zum Beispiel, sie sagt, es sei sehr schön. As in English, indirect speech is used when one wishes to report what someone else said. However, the existence of subjunctives in German adds some twists to the plot. The most common way of doing it, as one can often see in newspaper and news reports, is by using subjunctive 1. For example, if someone just said, I have an idea, it can be reported as, sagt, habe eine Idee. Here in subjunctive 1, the verb haben is conjugated by applying a pretty systematic set of endings to the verb stem, which is hab. In fact, this is how almost all verbs are conjugated to subjunctive 1, with the exception of course, the usual curveball sein, which follows its own set of conjugations. But they are still very similar to those of other verbs. However, just like in English, where one can quote another but slightly alter the meaning of the message by applying a different intonation, such as, well, that's what he told me. What one understands from the quotation will be quite different. In that example, I would get the sense that the speaker does not quite believe in that account and has doubt about the validity of the event. You can do the same in German too, by using subjunctive 2. Here is an example. When one says, hätte eine Idee, it is implied, as you may guess, since subjunctive 2 is usually used to describe hypothetical events, that what is being reported is questionable. Of course, one can also affirm the validity of an event being reported by using not subjunctive, but the indicative. If you trust someone rather well, you can simply say, sagt, hat eine Idee, which implies that you believe he does have an idea. Although all three constructions mentioned before are valid and can be used accordingly, there is a difference between formal and informal context. For example, in formal writing, subjunctive 1 is much more common, as it is more neutral and objective, while indicative or subjunctive 2 constructions are often found in speech and informal writing. In fact, media almost exclusively adopt subjunctive 1-based indirect speech, with few exceptions from publications such as Bild. Here is an example of a report where subjunctive 2 is used. As you can see, different forms of verbs can actually alter the meaning of a message greatly. The three constructions allow the speaker who originally merely relays the message to apply influence on the audience, creating an extra layer of communication that cannot be achieved in the same way in English, where verb form variations have largely disappeared and intonation plays a bigger role in such meaning-making. Therefore, I hope that after today's brief talk, you will have a better understanding of how to form indirect speech in German creatively and appropriately, much like a native speaker, and more importantly, to be able to think like one as well while you interact with an indirect speech. What exactly does the messenger mean? Finally, I must confess that I am learning and mastering the language too, where all learners and I may not be able to explain certain concepts as disciplined and clearly as other sources may. To that end, here is a list of useful materials based on the language in use that you may find interesting and very helpful. Thank you for watching the tutorial. Have a good day. Tschüss!